What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a special video on the date part function as part of the date concepts and functions in PostgreSQL. Today, I'll be talking about how to extract parts of a date from an existing date and timestamp. So, without any further ado, let's get to it. Um, as data analysts, you know better that when you're dealing with data, you sometimes work with you sometimes need to perform data preparation, data transformation. That also involves can also sometimes involve date data. So with date data, the date and timestamps that are generated by systems are sometimes really messy. So what you need to do is you will be required to do some transformation, which can also involve extracting some parts of the date in order to make the data ready for the analysis. Otherwise, you're going to end up with the sort of anatomy of a date and timestamp that you really don't need. Let me start you with an example here by performing a select now and show you what it brings you. As you can see here, if we the anatomy of this date and timestamp, if we break it down, we can see that we have the day, the year, the month, the day, then we have the hours, minutes, seconds, then we have the milliseconds, and then we have the time zone. So for a simple date and time, we got a complex anatomy here that maybe we need a couple of these information for analysis. So this is where you're going to need to extract, right, that needed parts from the date, and then in that case, date part, and there are other functions as well available. Date part comes in very handy, where you can perform where you can specify in a query what part of the date would you like to extract from that date. Let's without any further, let's get to it by giving an example of and I'm going to parse these parts out of the date. I hope it won't be a long video, but I'll be focusing on getting more like focusing on each of the logic for each of these parameters and how you can make use of it. So I also have a table where I also have some date columns in my student table one here. I have the program date and I have the program time. But the between date and time, I'm missing one piece of data here as compared to the select now, because the select now is giving me the date and time, and also lastly is giving me the time zone, which is 5 for the US, the current so that's the current time zone set up for my machine. So, for me to be able to run the time zone, I'll need to perform the functions on the select now, but I'll also be performing some of these on my select table. So let's get to it by first looking again one more time, looking at these columns here. I have a table, student table one, where I have a student ID, name, program, program date, and program time. So let's start with the simple query to extract years, right? So the way it works is we start with the select query, and then we're going to specify with the date part. So the date part function itself is different depending on the tool that you're using and the syntax. So you may end up if you will be using a different tool. Let's say if you will be using a SQL Server, if you're using let's say in the future Oracle, then you may need to perform some tweak. You may have to do some tweak the script a little bit to make it compatible to be able to deploy it in Oracle. So for a PostgreSQL, the function name is datepart. So the way it works is we put datepart and then we open the parentheses, and then the first parameter, the argument that we're going to pass here, is going to be the type of the date that we like to extract, right? Then the second parameter, there going to be additional parameters as well, but here I'm going to just pass two arguments: the type of date that I would like to extract, and then what's going to be the source. So the source I'm going to say extract is from the program time column, which is nothing but this column right here. And then I'm going to say, I'm also probably going to give it an alias and say, well, I'm not going to give it alias because I'm going to run a lot of these and I don't want to spend time with aliases. And lastly, I'm going to specify the source table. And I'm going to say table one. There you go. So again, we use a select statement. We add the date part function. We specify what kind of date, what type of, what part of the date would we like to extract, and then we specify what the source would be. So let's go ahead and run this. You're going to see a new column here populated. So 1 second, it says the year is not compatible without time zone. Okay, so let's go back and take a look at our yeah, well, I made a mistake because I have a time, so I should have run it on program date. Sorry for that. We don't have any years here, so obviously I made a mistake. Let's go ahead and run this on program date, and you're gonna get your date. So there you go. So it just parsed, it went there and it crawled the date, it crawled into the table and extracted the year out of the program date. And again, the reason it did not give me the program time is because obviously I did not have, it's a time data. There's no year included here. So that was for the year, how you can extract the year out of a date. Let's go ahead to let's go move on to the second one, which is going to be the month. So same thing, the month is going to be the same thing, except we need to change the the date type parameter from year to month. And this time it's going to give us the month that should be, since I have everything is 11/26, it should give me November. And there you go. I have the date part for the month and I got November for everything. So all right, let's move on to the next one, which is the day. And so for the day, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to copy the statement over and I'm going to paste it here. And this time I'm just going to change this to day. And you're going to see it's going to give me the day. And there you go. The day is the 26th. And again, I'm performing it on a table. You can also perform it on, let's say, for example, on the select now. So if you want to do it on select now, select date part, and then you're going to open the parentheses, and then you're going to say second uh, date part, and you're going to put the same thing, for example, this to be day, and then you're going to put a comma, and you're going to put the now. Make sure you close the parentheses because it's a method, and then one more parentheses to close the entire thing, and then maybe give it an alias and say now day. So let's go ahead and run this. You're going to see the same thing. It's either running it on a select now or either running it on the table. It's going to give you the same result. So next one's going to be hour. So the hour probably we need to run it on maybe on the program time because there's no hour on the program date. So let's go ahead and run it on the program time. And again, doing the same thing, except that we need to change the first parameter to hour. And this has to be time. And run this. There you go. This is the hour. So 17 hour is 5 o'clock. And then are we going to do the next one? It's going to be minute. So minute is going to be the same thing, except that we need to go and change this to minute. And same thing, it's going to give us the minute. This is the minute. So it was on the 0 minute. Well, it shouldn't be the zero. I think I made a mistake again with the thing, with the source column. So let me just copy so I don't make a mistake again. There you goes 21. So it's 5:21. So 21 is a minute parsed out of the timestamp. The next one's going to be the milliseconds. So let's go ahead and put the milliseconds and then put the same thing. This time put the milliseconds and then run it. The milliseconds part. And then next one is going to be the week. So the week we may have to do it on the program date because the program time does not have the date, so it has to be this one. So let's go ahead and do it on the program time. So program date, sorry. Oh, I did not put the week here. And there you go. This is the November 26th is the 47th week of the year. Next one is going to be day of the week. So this is going to be day of the week. Same thing. DEW is going to tell you what day of the week is that date. So I put the time zone again. I should put the date zone. So between time and date zone, I'm continuing to make mistakes. So let's run this. There you go. So it's Sunday. So it's the 0 day of the week. Why? Because depending on how you see, some systems are different. Date and time systems know Sunday as the last day of the week, Saturday is the first week. Some systems know Saturday as the last week, and Monday is as the first week. So that's why you're getting 0 for these dates. But if you were to, let's say, put a date here, let's say if I put tomorrow's date, I just want to test this. Let's say if I put 27, 2023, and run this, it should give me 1, Monday being the first day of the week. Oops, made a mistake. Apparently, there's a mistake here with the date that I. Oh, yes, I shouldn't. With this date, I shouldn't pass the table name. So because I'm not calling any table name here. So let's go ahead and run this. Oh, still not taking. So what is it saying? It's saying function date part. The unknown is not unique. Select date part now. Could not choose a best candidate function. We might need to add explicit type cast. Okay, maybe I should do the extract, and then the day of the week. Let's say from. Uh, Maybe I should do now. Close parentheses, and then maybe do interval plus 1 day. Let's see if this will do it for me. All right, it did not do it with the intervals. So select DUW from now. Let me change this to year. Still not. So maybe I should do something else here. Maybe I should do date part and then go with now. And then once I do the now, I can say plus 3. All right, I think I need to put the interval, and then I need to specify the day. Yeah, I did not specify the exact time parameter. So let's go ahead and do this. There you go. So yep, my test is valid. So the DOW, when I added 1 day to today's date, which will take us to Monday, it give me the day of the week as 1. So that's why when I perform the date part for today, in which the program date has today's date, let me go back to table 1. So the program date is 26, which is today. So today is a 0 for the day of the week. So again, DOW program date, and run this, and everything is 0. All those dates are 0. But if I were to add one more date to today, then this number is going to go to 1. Why? Because Monday is the first day. And if I, let's say, add uh, 8 more days, you're going to see that it's going to be still 1. But if I add 7 more days, it's going to take me to the same day next week, and it's going to be 0. So DOW is the day of the week, and we tested it that it gives us the day of the week. Now let's look at the day of the year. That's an important function as well. So again, same thing. Copy and paste. Uh, just change it to the DOY and run it. So today is the 330th day of the year. So DOY. And let's look at the quarter. And so this is going to give us what quarter of the month we are. or what quarter of the year we are. So November is like in the fourth quarter, should just give us the fourth. There you go. As every year has 4 quarters. And then the time zone, because my table, as I said at the beginning, my table does not have the time zone specific the time zone data. So I'm going to use the now to look at the time zone. So let's go ahead and do time zone, and then let me just run the now, and that will be pretty much select date part, open parentheses, and then we're going to say time zone, and then do the now, close the parentheses. So because now is again, let me run it now so you can see it gives a more detailed date and timestamp than the dates that I have on the table. There you go. So that's the time zone number. And let's go to time zone hour. So I'm not an expert with the time zones, but I only know UTCs, and I know how the date and how the time differ across the hour zone. So time zone hour, that should give us the time zone hour for that particular time. So it's going to be time zone underscore hour, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do it on the now. So there you go. That's the -5 as we saw, and then time zone minutes. Time zone minute going to be the same thing. There you go. The minute is 0. So these were the date part functions using these specifications that we pass on each of our functions. We also, again, there's not a single way to do this to extract the parts out of a date. You can also use a function called extract function. I'm not going to go into details and run and exemplify it by running each one of these parameters here, but I'm going to just show you how it works. Pretty much select, extract, and then same thing. We're going to specify here what do we want from our extraction, and then pretty much once we do that, we're going to say from, and then we're going to specify what it should be. So in this case, we can do from the table, which is the program date, right, and then specify the name of the table here, and just go ahead and run it. So select extract is also a very helpful way of extracting, and you can just like the date part, you can just change these values from year to month, whatever you need, and then pass it there. You can also add alias if you want. For example, you can say date, let's say date by year, right, and run it, and you're going to see date by year here. The label name changed. All right, I think this is it. Once again, the date part functions are important for you to be able to um, extract or parse one or multiple parts of a date and timestamp to allow you to have clean date data. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video.